Lock it in and rip the knob off. You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet. The Heffron and Reep Show.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to your house.
Right?
Whatever you didn't do the last 5 months, you can do over the next 3 weeks or month.
Yeah, dude. I know. I've been hearing the news. Everyone's going back to lockdown status.
It was, by the way, everybody, I hope you're well. If you're watching this on Facebook or if you're listening to it, we appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the... I watch so many YouTube videos lately. Like I've really gone down some wormholes as far as just YouTube videos and what it recommends. You know how it always says, gives you recommendations. Mm-hmm. I just let them play. Like I was really into The Mandalorian, and I've watched so much stuff on. I've always been a Star Wars guy, but I've watched so many videos about Star Wars, and then even random like home fixing videos. I'm literally getting sick of the phrase, "Hey guys, don't forget to hit the bell and the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit," like it's always that. Here's a fun game to play if you're going through Instagram live stories or whatever. Anytime you hear, "Hey guys," do a shot. Just do a shot.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm here today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Hey guys. So, but by the way, hey guys, don't forget to hit the like button.
Right. We're going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We have a new Patreon supporter, John Heffron. Are you excited for this?
Jessica Sandoval. You know the one thing about our Patreon people? I don't think we've said the correct last name to anybody as of yet.
I was about to say, hang on, let's get her name right. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Right? We have I guess that's what makes it special.
Jessica Sandoval or Sandoval? It's got to be one of the two. Yeah. Right? I think we got the Jessica part right. It's Sandoval. I don't know. Either way, Jessica, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. We're going to give you the best that we got today. Right, John Heffron?
Well, I've watched some YouTube videos. Hey, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe.
Hey, guys, hit the notification bell.
I watched the whole thing about getting energy through breathing and being focused. And I've this whole weekend when I was here in Michigan at the Comedy Castle, I did it before every show. And I know it's probably not the healthiest thing to do in indoors, but it's hard to do. This guy was like, here's what you do. You suck in, and then with your nose, you're not doing a farmer blow, but you go, and you do that back and forth, like as I got snot all over me, but you do that like 5 or 6 times in a row, and no snot comes out after the second one, and you almost hyperventilate yourself, but breathing in like that, now I feel like I should be playing music. No, all you got to do is just breathe in.
That's so funny you even brought up breathing, John, because go ahead. I'm sorry. Were you finished?
No, he goes, you do this weird thing, and then you take your fingers like this, and you put them on your temple, and you just push, and then you release, push, and then release. And then there's one here that you push and then release. So I was doing that before every show this weekend just because I have weird,
and you walked on stage and it looked like you just got in a fight.
I had snot all over the place. Yeah, it was weird because I was at the Comedy Castle, and it was weird because Michigan, again, people were showing up. Out of 600 seats, they were only allowed to sell 65. It was super safe and stuff, but every single day you didn't know if it was going to get shut down. Like you didn't know if you're supposed to. There was a piece of tape on the stage, and every time you stepped over the tape, I thought that Governor here in Michigan, Whitmer, would get like an alert on her phone that some comedian stepping over.
Right.
And I'll just tell the story before we get going. So, but the tape threw me off so much. It was just a long piece of yellow tape that was on the stage. But I get stressed. Remember, like when you do the Tonight Show or any TV show,
you got to hit your mark.
You have to hit your mark. And one of the scariest walks is from wherever you are to your mark. that walk sucks.
Yeah.
When it starts talking and you start doing your stand up, then it's natural. But just that walk is just, it's horrible. And then you're always smiling, and then you like look down to see if your foot went over the mark so you don't have some union light guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I came up with this bit, and I'm not saying it's funny, but I came up with a bit for myself as I'm unlocking my phone to show you what I was doing. Where I said there's a mark on the stage, and every time I walk, I feel like I have to hit it like I'm doing a stage production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And then throughout my whole act, I would just do this really grandiose walk and stop immediately. And I just wanted to start doing a play. Even it had nothing to do with my act. It was just, so I was like, what musicals? And I played, you want to hear a rundown? I played what I'm about to play with you.
Well, I know what it is.
No, it's a medley. Oh. And I couldn't memorize one. So when I would try to do it in front of the crowd, not one correct word came out of my head. And I don't know if are you done learning at like 50? Are you not able to retain information? So here's the one. So I did this really like, hold on. I did this real regal. I'm going to talk over this so we don't get busted on YouTube. And then I would just go and this go, Dear Theodosia, what to say to you? That's from Hamilton. And then
I knew I was going to say Hamilton.
And then from there I would do my act. Hey, what's up with blah 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 da da da. And then I would walk really slow to the other side of the stage and start going.
Maybe far away, or maybe real near far.
Nobody got that.
Is that any?
Word on Hamilton. And then I even brought "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." Do you know that?
Yeah.
Don't cry for me.
Madonna sang that one.
This was Sinead O'Connor. This one, and then Hamilton, and then time. Come to the glorious Pantages Theater.
I made so. I'm trying to figure out what was that last one.
That was
I'd live to see our glory. I may not live to see our
Hamilton.
glory.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Hamilton yet?
I'm afraid to answer this question because I don't want you to yell at me.
Have you not seen? You haven't seen Hamilton?
No,
dude. Not only have I seen Hamilton almost every night, I've also watched YouTube videos of secrets you don't know. So now I know about eyeline and how Aaron Burr always walks in a straight line opposed to Hamilton, who's always on the circular thing because he's always checking out all of life, where Burr is more straightforward. And there's all these eye levels, and dude, you gotta watch it.
I did watch The Mandalorian.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I'm caught up on The Mandalorian, the second season. How are you?
No, I'm only 2 episodes in on the second.
To the first one.
No, the second season.
Oh, so you are caught up in the second. There's 3.
Right. 2.
Okay. So you're not caught up. That's fine. Yeah, no. Okay, so I'll go back to the tape on the stage. Can I go back to the tape on the stage?
Yeah, sure.
Was the tape already there, and it was like, hey, comedians, be careful. This is where the stage ends, and we don't want you to fall off by accident. Was that kind of tape?
The tape was there because if you crossed it, then you're closer than 6 feet to the person in the front row. So it's a big enough stage.
I don't like this.
So they were social distancing between you and the crowd. So
why can't they just move the tables back? I don't think they should restrict the comedian's space at all.
That's good feedback. I would take that.
They need to move the tables back 6 feet, not the stage. I would.
Line. You would have went off sides.
I wouldn't respect the tape. I would call the cops.
An invisible fence. That would make it funny.
What's that?
An invisible fence. So every time the comic walked over or past a certain thing, they got zapped.
Right.
You know what bugged me aside with the tape? Again, I couldn't be more grateful that, I got to perform for a weekend before we all shut down again. I think, 1 weekend every 5 months so far. But there was a guy that had his foot on the stage,
Oh,
show. He had his legs crossed and his feet just rested. And it's weird what sets you off. Even though I just wanted to perform again, I'm on stage going, yes, this feels good. I have an identity. It was all this thing that I've been missing. And I saw this guy with his feet on, and I had to stop and go, listen, we've all been in our houses for 4 or 5 months. I'm hearing a lot of you eat like you're effing feral. You're in public again. You have to learn how to be back in public.
Really?
Yeah, I went a little crazy.
Did you say anything about the guy with his feet up on the stage?
Yeah, and some lady was chomping on my nachos. I'm like, ma'am, you're like a raccoon getting into the trash. I hear you from here. You're not at home, everybody.
All right, so let's explain this to the people who don't know a lot of this inside baseball talk we're doing here with comedians in our lives and what it's like from our point of view. We hate it when there are people on the front row, and not every stage is built the same, so it's not always an option. Some stages, if you're on the front row and you lean back, you could physically prop your feet up on the stage and relax like it's your recliner.
Right.
And we hate that. And I've seen comedians kick people's feet off the stage.
The only other time where I freaked out, right? Because my act is, I try to be nice. It's hard for me to freak out and then go back to my act. I mean, I guess I can do whatever I want. However, I was at Charlie Goodnight's. That's
where I saw this happen of another comedian.
And the woman put so if you're in Raleigh, just Charlie Goodnight's, the people in the front row are seating almost where you're right underneath your chest is almost against the stage. Mm-hmm. They're that close.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. This lady had a plate of chicken wings.
Yeah.
And she set the dirty plate with the wings on it on the stage. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking, and she just gets all their big and just sets it on the thing. And I kicked that. I kicked that off. And I'm like, who raised you? Your parents were they let you down as human beings. If you turned in, I went, that plate meant a lot in the sense of I was probably on the road for 65 weeks in a row and I just had enough of everything.
Right.
So there's a lot of anger.
This poor lady who just never been outside her house in a year and a half didn't know the etiquette and you went off on her. That's great. I've had it before. There are some stages that come out real far to where the audience, it's almost like a catwalk. To where they're kind of, if you come too far out, they're kind of behind you on the right and left. And I've been on one where someone got up and wanted to go to the other side of the room and walked on the stage behind me to go to the other side.
Yeah.
And I almost lost it there. But yeah, I've seen this happen at Good Nights. There was a lady. No, it was some dude. It was like a late show on a Saturday, and the headliner wasn't a big name, so there was only like 40 or 50 people in there, and some dude was all propped up with his sunglasses on. He was probably all like coked up or something, and he just had his feet propped up on the stage. And the comedian walked over and said, "Hey, dude, are you a comedian?" He's like, "No." He goes, "Well, get your foot off the stage," and he kicked his foot off the stage. And it got weird. But yeah, we just know that's kind of like, that's our safe space.
Yeah.
That's our time. That's our space. It's like that scene from Goonies. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. Up there, it's their time. We're the Goonies.
Where I wanted to be grateful that there were people actually out and I was on stage, but yet I just went back to old habits and I was completely annoyed that somebody would just put their feet on this, anyway.
Here's a comment that Alan Jackson's put up for us to read. Miki RM. I know I was at the Comedy Zone in Greenville last weekend, and it was anti-social distancing. People were squeezed together certain places do not care and do not obey the rules. Apparently, where John Heffron was not one of those places. If you're putting tape on the stage, that's a little too far.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Okay, so there's that. Is there anything? I have a question for you.
Yes.
And then we have a guest that those of you who are watching, you're going to learn a lot from the guests, even though I have this guest on to help, my buddy John Reep. But you're going to want to just listen up for a second. If you do any type of, I don't even know how to, if you do Zoom meetings or if it's anyway. So we know, right, John, that I'm in a barn with a tractor.
Yeah.
We also know outside right now, it's about 31 degrees, 32. I have a space heater blowing on my nads that I have it cranked up to about 95, but it's just warm enough to keep my legs from not freezing up. And right here, I have a butane. Wait, is this going to hurt me? I have this thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pointed
You got
right
two heaters.
I have thing, and it's still almost not enough. So,
Wow.
So here's what I'm thinking about doing. I have to fix this solution, right? Because like you, if those of anybody who's interested, you do Zoom stuff. I've been doing a lot more for corporations that have like 30, 40 people on. We do this fun Q&A. We do bits. It's a thing. If you're interested in that, you can get a hold of me, John, however you would get a hold of us. So I got to figure out a solution. So here's my options. I buy a trailer. I buy like a camper trailer. Called traveler trailers or third wheels.
Yeah.
17 feet. It'll have a little bathroom and those little booths that you slide in, and I just make a studio that's in there, thus having heat.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. I can make it look cool because you don't see that much, but it's small. I have heat. My other option is I build a wall here and try to enclose it the best I can, or I buy a van. Or I have to rent office space because my internet at my house sucks. Which one out of those do you think?
I have. Okay, so do you know Eddie Ift, the comedian Eddie Ift?
Yeah, he had the bus.
Right. I liked it. I thought it was cool. The good thing about that, like you said, you'd have heat. It would be yours. Like I don't know if that barn, if you own the barn. So whatever work you did there, you might have to take down if they got mad or changed their mind or something like that. Fire up the tractor for heat, says Rick Sanford III. The office space, now you're renting it, you're throwing money out the window, you might not get it back, and you have to drive. I think the good thing about the camper or the van is that not only do you own it and you can make it cool, we could do this kind of stuff on the road. Like if you were to drive to a gig, and it wouldn't be like, well, John, I can't do it this weekend. I'm on the road. It'd be like, well, didn't you drive there with your van?
Yeah, that's the difference between having one that you pull or I get one of those cool, like U-Haul size. I don't know anything like they're called Class C RVs where you actually can drive them.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the big camper. I would do something that you could drive legally without having to go get a different driver's license.
Yeah.
And then make that really cool. I actually thought about doing that myself a while back and thought like that'd be fun to go on the road and do that. Yeah, get the 12-year-old neighbor kid to build it. Where's he at? Where's that kid from Bad News Bears?
I bought cookie dough from that kid. Did I tell you that?
You bought cookie dough from him?
He was on some football team or something. He's like, I'm selling cookie dough. And I go, oh, sure, I'll buy it. And then I go, how big are they? And he started to go, well, he goes, the half gallon of ice cream? And I went, sure. And then he goes, it's about half of that. And I was already in. He had me at half gallon.
Oh,
so
nice.
I bought a half gallon thing of cookie dough, and I think you're supposed to cook it, but I never did. It never made it. Every time I'd walk by the refrigerator,
that's funny. I never got the concept of eating cookie dough before you cook it, and I know a lot of people do it. I mean, I get it now, but I remember the first time I heard someone saying, "I just eat the cookie dough." I was thinking, why would you do that? Don't you want a cookie? Why wouldn't you?
No, cookie dough tastes 100 times better than made cookies.
I don't think I've only eaten cookie dough raw maybe once or twice my whole life. They
have cookie dough that you can eat raw. I don't know what the people are afraid of if you eat it straight out of the thing. Everyone from the 70s did it, but they have cookie dough now that you just eat raw. Like you don't even waste your time that 15, 20 minutes cooking.
Yeah.
Like, you just eat it. So.
Hey, real quick, I want to go back to something else you said. This weird breathing exercise that you did before you went on stage.
Yeah.
So I did an interview with Diamond Dallas Page for my other podcast, Country-ish.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Do you know how long I did DDP? I did it for I did it for 2 years straight, probably.
I'm just now starting it, dude. I'm on day 2.
I did it almost, and when I saw that you had him on as a guest, I was like, "What the? It's the greatest." It's I have it on DVD, so I don't even have a way to play it. So if you talk to him again, tell him it just needs to be an app on Apple TV. But
okay,
it's good.
It is an app, and it's also online. I'm just learning about it, dude. I had him on. There's this guy who does it, who hit me up. He's a fan.
Poke it out,
right? Grab that ball. Grab the ball, and then you put it up. Yeah. You hold it up. Yeah. So I was doing that today. And there is breathing that goes along with that. And I pulled a muscle breathing. That happened.
Do the thing that I just say. I don't know what your snot thing is. It's 28 degrees where I'm outside, so I have a little bit more.
I would be afraid to do that one.
Just do it, dude. Just put your hand. I showed you my feet. You can cover it in case.
I'll do it. I'll do it. So what am I doing again? I go.
All it is, it's a.
Okay, hang on. So it's a deep breath, and then
it's deep, and then push, deep, push, deep, push.
All right,
and
ready?
you do that like 5 or 6 times. You're gonna feel high.
All right, hang on. Oh.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Now you're at every 80s party. Yeah.
Okay, I'm quitting because
so that was
disgusting.
It's gross.
You gotta be careful.
Oh man, do you wanna? So all right, let's go back to what we were talking. Was it last?
I just wanted to go with that breathing thing because I'm not used to taking a bunch of deep breaths and I don't know when to exhale. And so when I was doing it, I took a big deep breath, and then something went like, and I was like, I did like this, and the guy's like, "Oh, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just hurt myself breathing."
Yeah,
that's 48 years old for you.
So I want to get to last week. Those of you listening, I'm sure you followed John's Countryish podcast, so you're probably up to date with what's going on John Reep. But just in case you don't know, last week John he was kind of toying with the idea, kind of got in his head that he wants to run for mayor of Hickory, North Carolina.
Yes,
a town that's about 50,000 strong.
Yeah.
Ish, opposed to South Lyon, Michigan, that is 5,000 or 11. John, we were talking about him reaching out to sister city of Hickory, which I believe is somewhere in Germany.
Right.
And John wants to run on a few things. He's not a fan. I'm just seeing how much I retain from you talking. Right.
Okay.
So when you talk, you don't think I listen to you, but so far,
dude, you're nailing it, and I'm very impressed.
So he also, one of the biggest things if Hickory is, and I've never been there, is all the streets downtown are numbers. It's like First Street, Third Ave, almost like New York-ish, I guess. And it just gets confusing if I was to send him something, I have to send it to 2312 West North 5 Rural Road 60.
Correct.
So, and then I asked John, well, what are you running on? What are you're going to be mayor. People are going to ask you questions. You're a comic. You've tweeted, probably some things that people would say was wrong to tweet. John straight up said he didn't care. He was a comic. You can find anything that he's ever said. And it was a thing. So then I thought we got to get a hold of my buddy Topher Morrison, who let's just get him on. Alan, get Topher on, and then I'm going to explain John's.
Go do the guest thing.
Yes. Bam! Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, John Topher.
So many things I've got to talk about.
Okay,
so many things.
Right.
Okay, first off, before we talk to the mayor, we all need to have a prayer for Michigan when their solution to COVID is yellow tape.
Right.
I'm hoping that's not their only strategy.
So, but I will say this, John Reep, as you're shaking your head, Topher lives in the Tampa area, and I was there in the beginning of COVID. And I don't know. Do you guys even know that COVID exists? Like, that's where I got yelled at for wearing a mask when Tampa people dress like pirates. So,
John, the only gig I've really done was Tampa, and it was like in June or July when COVID first came out. And I was there, and it was the only gig that did not. Yeah, and they didn't cancel on me. I thought, well, they're going to cancel. They're like, no, get your ass down here.
We're a city that has hurricane parties. Do you think we're going to allow COVID to stop us?
Oh yeah.
I feel like my background is way too bright for you guys. You're in a barn with a tractor behind you. Reep, you look like you're in some sort of bunker.
I'm in some weird.
Alex, can you make I don't know how StreamYard works. Can I?
All we need is one tiny green plant. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Now I'm focused.
I don't know how to highlight you with StreamYard, but Topher does have a cool like whiteboard. I don't know.
Which I just turned the light off.
Yeah, you're on the show. So Topher has a cool. John Reep, we need one of those because it looks like we've done like some brainstorming.
Yeah, right? that either looks like brainstorming or some weird child's game that you're trying to develop.
Yeah, or
weird board game.
Girl, and there's like ropes. There's like or like all the local girl in Tampa. Yeah,
I'm solving the crime of a serial killer over here.
Okay.
Leading to the culprit.
He is in Tampa.
All right, so there's so much I want to say for those listening. I don't even know how to explain Topher's career. Side note, here's my ADD kicking in. We were talking about breathing. You in your past life, Topher, you know stuff about breathing, right? I don't know, like never mind.
Well, I don't want to brag, but
it's gotten me this far.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Been doing it for a while.
John,
do it again.
Have some expertise in hypnosis, like
meditation,
right?
Yes.
I'm not like that. That was like when you were young, but is there something to that?
I don't know if there's anything to. I'm thinking I think you became friends with a coke fiend and they're just trying to
just make sure you do this before. It's like saying, don't forget to zip up your pants. Don't forget to do 2 puffs out so nothing falls out during the show.
All right. So I've taken Topher used to do the speaker training platform speaking thing 100 years ago, and I took it maybe 100 years ago, and it literally helped my stand up. It teaches you how to present in front of people, how to frame things. I've said stuff in my act where Topher's seen it. Then afterwards, like I used to do a joke, John, where I'd be like, "Hey, I want you to imagine your kids going missing." Like imagine you don't know where your kids are. And then, the feeling you're getting in your stomach right now. My parents never had that. Then I would do some random joke about being gone all day. And then Topher, who's very insightful, said to me, the problem with that joke is, you notice how you never get a laugh after the thing you say after that? It's because you literally told people, think about your kids missing.
Right.
Think about your kids. And then I never closed that loop.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well,
so he shows you how to do stuff, or I used to do stuff. I'm not going. Remember when your dad would get mad before you go on family vacation? Just remember what his face looks like. And then I would go on and do a bit. People would always come up and go, "Man, you nailed my dad exactly." Like it was unbelievable how you had. And I would be like, "Yeah, that's because I told you to think of him." I didn't say
oh yeah, right? Smart.
He teaches how to do that stuff. But the reason why he's on.
Well, I want to say one thing real quick. Yeah. Topher.
Thank you, Rick.
Good to meet you, Topher. And also, John has been talking about you to me for a very long time. Nothing but positive, awesome, amazing things. So I'm very happy to meet you.
Cool.
Continue, John.
So also, when I lived in LA and I had to drive my 2 dogs to Michigan, Topher flew out. We rented a van. I threw the dogs in there. We drove from Los Angeles to Michigan. I'm not exaggerating to be funny. I'm 100% being as accurate as I possibly can. We talked in a row for maybe the longest conversation was 4 to 5 minutes.
Nice. We've said more in this podcast.
Yeah. we drove.
Then we did the entire trip.
And never once. And then every once in a while, I would start talking, going, should I be talking to him? No, he'd stop at Arby's. He'd look and go, there's an Arby's up there. I go, thank you. And we'd pull. We'd let my dogs walk. We'd eat Arby's. And we'd go. We literally drove across country, not talking, and had a great, like one of the greatest times.
It was amazing.
I can identify with this. I drove across the country. I flew my dad out to help me pack my crap up, and we went across the country. And we didn't talk for a long time, and I thought this was going to be a bonding father-son thing. One time he said, "Turn the radio off," and I thought, okay, he wants to talk, and he said nothing.
I just hate
what are we doing? I can't even listen to the radio. So I get that. What is it about going across country where you think you're going to talk and you just don't want to talk?
Yeah, I had no life problems figured out by the time, we got. I'm like, I didn't think about one thing, except
that was what was so nice. It's like we didn't have thoughts in our head. We just knew it was a straight line, and we just went. It was great.
One thing he did say as I'm pulling out of my old house in, I just reading Topher John's book. So the one thing that you said when we were pulling out of my house in Los Angeles. I said something about the rear view mirror, and then you said, we don't need the rear view mirror anymore. We're going forward. And we drove. Right. And then I left my old life. So
that's a very cannonball run of me.
Yeah. That's right.
By the way, I love how Heffron is on the show like it's a radio show, and it's not. It's like. Yeah. So anyway, we did the show and it was really cool. It's like you're trying to tell us a secret, and you don't realize that the camera doesn't have any kind of a wide angle on it.
Yeah, he's up there close, isn't he? He likes to eat that microphone.
My champagne.
That's like my dad's FaceTiming.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get back. Okay. No, what I learned this from Topher. There's no criticism, just feedback. So thank you for your feedback. How's this? Is this better? I'm getting up here.
You be you.
Why I have Topher on is because John, you're thinking about. I'm getting close. I don't care. You're thinking about running for mayor in Hickory. Topher ran for mayor in Tampa.
Oh, it's a little bit bigger than Hickory. Yeah,
he came in dead last. So, I want him.
Not even close.
Yeah. So we need advice for John. Where do we even?
Well, then I'm your guy.
Yeah. Where do we?
All right. I can have questions for Topher.
Nothing says authority than a last place finish, if you ask me. If Tampa was a girl, we would just have to say she was just not that into me.
Did you, Topher, were you taking it seriously or were you goofing around? Okay.
No, man. This is a life's dream of mine. I will run again someday. I have been bit by the public service bug. There you go, John. That's looking good.
I love it when John does physical humor.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was definitely serious, man. I basically put my company on hold. I put my life savings into it, and I ran as hard as I possibly could. No regrets.
Okay.
Just lots of debts.
So, but there's a lot of. I mean, what's the population of Tampa? Well, it's got to be.
Well, the entire area of the Tampa Bay area, you're in the millions, but the city of Tampa is sitting around like, I don't know, 360,000 or something. Yeah.
Okay, 360,000. Hickory's around 40, 50,000.
The voting Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah, the voters. Did you have to spend a lot of money on the campaign?
Yeah. Here's what I learned, Reep, and you're going to love this because you've got one of the two necessary ingredients to win. In order to win an election, you need two things. You need name recognition.
Okay.
You got that? Yep. Check.
I have it here.
Everybody in Hickory knows you. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know Hickory, but
I will say this: the mayor knows me.
Come out of Hickory. Yeah.
The mayor knows me.
There you go.
All right. So the name recognition.
Yeah.
That's one, and then money. A lot of it.
That's really long.
Like Cosby money. I mean, you need a lot of money.
Well, maybe for Tampa. I don't know if it's necessary in Hickory. And here's what I have in my favor, not just the name recognition.
Yeah.
But the guy who helps us produce this show and my other podcast, Country-ish, the Alan Jackson. That's another big name. Not that one, but that is his name. But he was the campaign manager of the guy who ran against the current mayor 4 years ago, and they only lost by about 200 votes. So he's got experience, and now he's going to be my campaign manager.
But here's where I think, John, we need to dial you in a little. I don't know, right? And I listen to you. I think you need a platform or get a really message that people can repeat. Like, John Reep's running for, and then they will literally say the words you need them to say. So how to run him through the ringer a little bit? Like, Topher, ask him why he wants to be mayor or what he wants to run on.
Yeah. So what is your platform? Like, what's the one thing, if you could only get one thing accomplished through is it a 2 or a 4 year term?
4.
In the 4 years, if you could get one thing accomplished, would it be like legalizing crossbows and you'd be the legalizing crossbow guy? Or like, what's your one
catapults? Make catapults legal. But anyway, I'm jumping. I'm not.
Okay. First of all, none of that's illegal here. I don't know. No, but, and I'm joking, but I'm not joking. The street signs, we want to attract new businesses to Hickory. We don't want to confuse them when they're trying to get through our city. And our streets are only numbers. For example, there could be an address. There could be an address that is 1st Street, 1st Avenue, 1st Court Lane. Like, they're all numbers. There's a 1st Street, there's a 1st Court, there's a 1st Avenue, there's a 2nd Street, a 2nd Court. We need names. We have some kind of famous people here in Hickory, not, like Eric Church, the country singer, not too far from here, Dale Jarrett and Ned Jarrett. We could name our streets after people we're proud of and make a big deal about it.
Well, how many streets, y'all? I mean, you have
right. You were amazed when I got after the number 1.
We could have Dale Avenue. We could have Dale Street. We could have Dale Boulevard. That's 3 right there.
What if you put a bench and just name it off of like everybody who lives in Hickory? Like, everybody gets a bench.
Well, I thought about auctioning it. Like, okay, so the big business we have in Hickory, it used to be furniture. Furniture used to be our number 1 product. That's what made us famous back in the day. We were at one time, Hickory was the furniture capital of the world. And then, of course, the free trade agreement. Now everything's made in China. Those jobs went away. Now it's CommScope and Corning Cable, fiber optics. We have 2 big companies here that do that. I would say, let's say what company wants to pay for their own street name and take that money and put it into the city like you would do a football stadium is now named after a company. Why not make some of the streets that way?
That'd be great too, especially if you could put it like on yearly contracts. So every year people could bid for a new road and everybody would have to keep doing a change of address because, this year it was Amway Boulevard and the next year it becomes Apple Street and you have to keep changing it around.
Right. Well, Thomas Ewert put a comment up. He feels my pain. As a visitor to Hickory twice this year, the streets are confusing. Yeah. So that's one problem that I would run on. Mm-hmm. We got the oldest sewage system in the country.
We're talking infrastructure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks talking about sewage, but
I will tell you though. I'll never forget. There was during one of the debates we had this one guy who was, I don't know if he was a billionaire, but he was pretty wealthy and he's a great man, philanthropist, got theater named after himself down here. And he made some comment about how he wanted to create a quality of life council. And the quality of life council consisted of all these different people. And one of my other people running, he goes, I don't know about you. He goes, but quality of life for me, it's not those things that he just mentioned. It's, do you have potholes? Does your plumbing work? He goes, that's quality of life for people. So you may think that's silly, but that could be a big deal for people if their commodes getting backed up all the time because their plumbing systems are so old that maybe if you invest in some infrastructure, you guys could take some big dumps.
Dump that money into the sewage. Yep. I got it. Now, so here's a kind of a thing I'm going through right now. Mm-hmm. I currently do like our mayor now, and I've talked to him several times before all this, and I think he's doing okay, but I think I could do better. And
Yeah.
I'm worried because he used to be the chief of police.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're
it.
going to get tickets all the time
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's
by the way, let me.
I'm
ask you
afraid
this.
of what he
What's
might
more-
come after me. Like what are the negative things that I'm going to get as a result of running for
Okay.
mayor?
So here's the downside. So the negative things for me, none of my friends ever returned my phone calls. Like I lost all my friends for the year and a half because every time I was calling them, they were expecting that I was going to be asking them for money for the campaign, which was very astute on their part because I probably was.
Oh, that's
So,
great. You know how I've
yeah.
learned to get people to stop talking to me is tell them about my podcast.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Maybe it's a similar effect. So it was funny. I mean, no one ever returned my phone calls or picked up the phone when I was running for office and were my friends. It was crazy. So you will lose some friends over that if you're going to be doing some campaign fundraising, or if you just bankroll it yourself, then you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry too much about the fact that you're a comedian, so you've kind of got a bit of a free pass to being politically incorrect. Whereas anybody else that they've said anything, it all comes back to haunt them. You can just, like I said, I think John was saying, you just go, yeah, I said that. I'm a comedian. What do you expect out of me? Yeah.
I think to define as just somebody who doesn't live in Hickory, it almost like you need a mission statement, almost like you need a sentence or two that I really go, oh, John Reep he's making furniture again. I'm John Reep. I'm here to help people in the Hickory, so they can so then they can blah 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 blah. What's the
Well, I thought of something.
John, let me just do this thing. So I help Topher, see if I remember. I help X to Y so they can Z. Right? So like anytime you ask people what they do for a living on stage, you ever just go, what do you do? And they explain it to you and you're still confused, even though they've in that. So, so how would we, let me try. So who would you, if you become mayor, John, when you become mayor, who are you helping? It would be the citizens of, let me answer your question. So who would you help?
The citizens of Hickory.
Is that answer? Am I doing this right, Topher? Is that what do you sign off on that?
You'd probably want it a little bit more personal than that. Like even residents of Hickory sounds a little bit more personal.
Right.
But the locals, maybe even better. I mean, I'm assuming Hickory, and with your accent, it's probably somewhere Middle America.
All the families that live and reside right here in the sweetest city in the world, Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay, so
what do they call Hickoryans? What are they, Hickoryans, or what are they?
That's a good question. I think they just call them Hicks.
Hicks. There you go.
So are we going with
residents? Big difference between citizens to Hicks.
Yeah. No, I think so. Over the years, I've always made I've poked fun of my own city because it's like, to me, I grew up here. It's like a little brother. I'm allowed to pick on my little brother, but no one else is.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what. And I've always said you can't say Hickory without the word hick. And we do have our fair share of that. But there are some people who they don't like that. They don't like being associated with that.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I have like a master's degree. We have a major university here, Lenore University is like it's a good school, and there are smart people, well-educated people who hate the fact that I am the comedian that talks about their city.
Yeah.
So I've got to worry about that a little bit, I think.
All right. So John, do you have a piece of paper by you, Reep?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So write this down. I'm doing a Mad Lib.
I don't have paper. I'm going to type it.
Okay. So far, we help the residents and local community.
Okay.
The folks of Hickory.
Folks is a good word.
So is that what we're going with, Topher? So
go folks. Yeah.
Okay, the folks of Hickory.
Yep.
Okay. What are we helping them with? I'm done. I help the folks of Hickory to
be happy. Okay, so this is what I was going to bring up.
This is what we need Topher for.
Here's what and maybe help me with this. I want to make Hickory happy. I don't know if it's already happy. I think it's kind of happy. Kind of like how, not to go with the Trump thing, but he said, I want to make America
happier again.
Yeah. And I'm a comedian and I do that. That's my job. I want to make you happy. And if I'm the mayor, I'm the cheerleader of the city. I've got ways to make us happy again. So I don't know. What do you think?
All right, I have a question to the teachers watching. Is this what it's like trying to Zoom teach when you're trying to work somebody through one simple formula.
Probably, yeah. Except for we have shorter attention spans.
I hope the folks of Hickory to blank. Topher, what would you say John should say in that blank, in that one?
Yeah, I think the happy is the Z. You know, I help the folks of Hickory blank so they can be more happy, right? So the happiness is the thing that goes at the end, and then that's the thing in the middle, right? So I'm committed to helping the folks of Hickory. Build up their infrastructure. I don't like that term personally. It's exactly what it is, but that's where you kind of got to get real concise. Like for me, I was the small business mayor. I was going to bring back small business and make sure the small business thrives. Gotcha. So we want to find that one thing that hopefully creates a picture in their mind, which is something positive.
Okay. Well, how about this? There's one of the. It's not a big problem. It's a thing. The kids that grow up here. We've got like 4 or 5 high schools in Catawba County, and we have one community college and we have one sort of private university. Most people, if they're going to go to a college, they go off to NC State, 3 hours away. Other college, they leave and they get educations, and sometimes they don't come back. And I'd like to figure out a way to keep our kids here and get educated and build their own businesses and grow this city.
So maybe you give folks a reason to stay.
I'm John Reep.
Topher, I just got
Hickory. Oh, I like the reason to stay. I'm John Reep. Yeah. I'm the reason to stay.
I'm the reason to make people stay. I'm the reason that folks stay in Hickory or something.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to make it about you. You want to make it about them, though, right? So you don't say you're the reason to make them, but I'm John Reep, and as your mayor, I'll specialize in helping
the youth,
give
kids.
Folks a reason to stay. Yeah. Give folks a reason to stay in Hickory. Yeah.
Give folks a reason to stay. I'm John Reep, and I give
this down. Okay. Yeah. All right. I like that. I like it. Okay.
So you can then go on to.
I'm out. That's good.
There you go.
Hey, put that on the whiteboard.
But then, John, you tag it at the end with so they can be happy. I don't love this. So you can be happy because happy. That what does that mean?
That's generic as hell. Yeah.
But you need to go. I'm trying. Folks at Hickory, I give you a reason to stay so we can build our communities, thrive, and blah 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 blah.
Give folks a reason to stay and be happy. Yeah. Be happy that you stayed.
There you go.
I don't know.
I like that one, dude. Just open up be happy you stayed. We'll just open up an RV.
Because as a guy who left, I grew up here.
Give a reason to stay and be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I left and I grew up here. I left in 1992. Was gone for 18 years. No, over 18 years. I went to Raleigh anyway, I was gone. I left and I came back.
John,
yeah.
When you left and you came back, what changed or what didn't change that you wish would have or wouldn't have? Because there could be something for you in your platform. It's like, man, I came back 18 years later and nothing changed. And we're not advancing. And that's why we've lost our jobs. I'm going to give people a reason to stay and blah, blah, blah. Or when I came back, everything was changed and I missed this, right? Yeah. So maybe either way.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Okay, I'll think of that. That's good. I'll think of some examples.
I will tell you this, by the way. You were talking about what are some of the downsides. One of the upsides for you possibly running for mayor is that I'm assuming, I don't know yet, but I'm assuming you're going to be the outcast or the third person. Is there does he have somebody else running against him, or does she have somebody running against her?
I don't know yet. Last term, he did he barely won by 200 votes. Yeah. And it's not really a partisan thing. You don't even have to declare what you are, Republican, right. Democrat, none of that stuff.
Is it a strong form of government? Is it a strong form mayor, or is it the other one? Does the mayor actually have authority, or are they kind of like the queen? They just have the waving power.
From what I've learned so far is there's really one thing. It's a meeting that you got to go to every other Monday, and you're a tiebreaker vote. Other than that, it's mostly ceremonial. Mm-hmm. And the Hickory is a city managed city.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's even better because you don't have as much responsibility. So you can have fun
I
with
got
the
a
job.
theme
Yeah.
song
Right.
for you, though. John,
What?
I'm bringing happy back.
Yeah. There you
I'm
go.
bringing happy back.
Yeah. So, or I could remake the song "Don't Worry, Be Happy." You know.
Yeah, you could.
How about the? Okay. So to answer your question, it's you're a cheerleader for the city. You know, you go to these events, you
Yeah.
try to bring in businesses, you shake hands, you show up, and like for example, we have Hickory has an airport, but it's a private airport, but it's also a museum. And just recently, the Blue Angels
And a McDonald's.
right. It used to be the mall, but yeah, no. The Blue Angels just flew in and dropped off a new plane, and I think our current mayor was there trying to raise awareness about it, but I don't know how many people knew about it. I feel like because more people follow me, we would get more attention to awesome events like that.
Absolutely, you would. The one thing that will happen is if he does get another person running, you will have. If the mayor hasn't called you yet, the mayor will. As soon as they find that you're going to be like, is it he? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a guy.
So yeah, as soon as he figures out that you're serious and you are going to do this, and you go down and register, he'll be calling you right away saying, "Reep, what do you want to drop out?" Because he will not want to run against you, and you can pretty much get whatever you want. Like if you want, Reep Avenue, Reep Boulevard, Reep
then you get your
Street.
street named after you, and then you don't go to meetings, and yet you've accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, in fact, Reep, how big is your family? Do you have enough family in your whole clan to have like Sally and John and Mary, and could you get the whole city renamed for streets? There you go.
Right.
You'd be the popular person in your whole family.
Well, yeah, I have.
I'm John Reep. I give the residents and the youth of Hickory a reason to stay.
Yeah, I like the stay thing.
Vote for
Maybe.
me.
Oh, John, Heffron,
I
you'll
still
like
think
this.
a crossbow in every family would be a pretty good reason.
Yeah, so maybe not remaking the song by Jodeci, Baby Won't You Just Stay is not a good idea, John Heffron.
Any remake of any song, I'm always going to be a fan of.
All right.
I know you like
Here's
Jodeci.
another thing. If we could be a little ADD, by the way, Heffron.
Yeah.
Did I hear you right that you were trying to play musicals at a Michigan comedy shop?
Yeah, thank you, Topher.
Do people who attend a Michigan comedy shop, are they real big musical fans?
No.
I'm thinking maybe your joke worked, but just you got to put it in a different city. Maybe not some. I'm just thinking.
I'm glad Topher brought it up. I didn't have follow-up questions with that because I didn't want to prolong it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Look what you did, Topher. Oh, here we go.
Everybody in the audience is like,
You have your mother.
came
Is this John Heffron?
It was no, it ate it. Not one person laughed anytime I did it.
I didn't think so. Yeah, you might want to try that same joke. I don't know, maybe
Nowhere.
I don't know, somewhere on the east or the west coast.
Yeah,
That's all
in
I'm
New
saying.
York on Broadway, one half off. Yeah, I couldn't even. The only thing that got a laugh when I did it is I was trying to get obscure with songs. Is when I walked and I went, "It's a hard knock life for us."
Okay.
It's a hard knock life, and then people got it. Listen, sometimes they do things just for me.
Oh, someone says, "Hey, it worked. John was on point Friday night. Look, you got a fan, Tim Mayer."
Yeah, he liked it.
Speaking of Mayer,
That's-
or is it Mar? I'm pronouncing that name
Or
wrong.
Mahar or Mahar.
Mahar.
John, you gotta
Maher.
practice your full sentence though, and almost like every time you say, "I'm John Reep,"
I'm John Reep. I'm running for the mayor of Hickory because I want
the residents.
the folks of Hickory to stay in Hickory. A reason
Give them a reason
to stay.
When I'm there, I will create we will create a reason to stay. What about we, Topher?
Yeah,
we will.
And then anything where it's not about you, it's about the people. That's always good. And then on your website, your platform is 13 reasons to stay, 5 reasons to stay, 3 reasons to stay, or something like that. And then you just have each one of those things. And,
I like it.
And then phase 2, when you get reelected, is reasons to grow. And
Not
then
only
reasons to attract.
to stay, but to bring in new businesses and more money. Okay. I got my homework.
So for next podcast, we need John Reep's 5 reasons to stay, or your future. You can even do it like what would be 5 reasons 4 years from now.
Okay.
Because by then we will have this. We will have the world's largest thermometer, and then a place in Nevada has to take their crap down. We will have catapults. We will moats. We'll make it legal that you can put moats around your house.
John, you'll like this. At one
There
point
we go.
in Hickory,
I like that one.
there was moats. Yeah. At one point in Hickory, because we were the furniture capital of the world, there was this one, I forgot where it was in Hickory, but there was this one
World's
furniture.
largest Adirondack chair.
It was a rocking chair.
Fine.
It was a rocking chair, and it was on the top of this big podium type, like this gigantic water tower looking thing, one gigantic rocking chair. And I thought that was cool. We don't have anything like that anymore because we don't have those businesses.
Why don't you use the word rocking? Let's make Hickory. Not, I hate the word make, but let's get Hickory rocking again. Like that one.
Give us a reason to stay. Yeah.
I think you should bring back the rocking chair personally.
I
love Heffron's, but I'm sure Heffron's told you about the whole idea about finding all the world's records and then just beating them by like 1 or 2 inches. I think that is classic, man.
That's a good idea.
Just steal everything.
That's a great idea.
All right.
John, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I don't know what other records are out there. I don't know if it's a thermometer. I wouldn't do a thermometer. I mean,
well, in Baker, California, when you're driving to Vegas, obviously right there is
world's tallest thermometer.
Michigan had a mystery
I've seen
spot,
that, yeah.
Where it would just say Michigan's mystery spot, and people would pull up, drive to it just to see. And the place was just called the mystery spot, and it was a souvenir store.
Dude, there was a time where I actually talked to businesses in Hickory. This is like right after Last Comic Standing, at the peak of my thing, where they were talking about like, let's have a John Reep's barbecue, like right off of the interstate. So, because my thing in my comedy, I would say when you say Hickory, you got to shake your head because that means you're proud. Like, so Topher, the joke is, you've seen people when they're too proud about something, they kind of shake like this, like, yeah, I'm from Hickory. Where do you think you're better than me? And their head goes like this. But when they're ashamed of where they're from, they kind of go up and down like they're admitting defeat. And it's like, yeah, I'm from Michigan. Yeah.
That's how pretty much every person who lives in the greater cities of Florida, we all like, I'm from Florida. Yeah. That's how we feel right now after the election.
I have.
Like the thing right now is people in Tampa say we're from Tampa. We don't want to even admit Florida.
Tampa.
Oh, I like that. By the way, I love Tampa.
Yeah, it is a great city.
It's some of the best times I've had is in Tampa. The Side Splitters Comedy Club. I've not done the one in the Improv. I've been there. I've not performed there. The one in Ybor City. But I've partied in Ybor City. I went to the Super Bowl when in Tampa when the Steelers beat the Cardinals. I was at that Super Bowl and actually performed.
I have a story about that Super Bowl. I had tickets to the game and to the Maxim after party.
I went to the Maxim after party.
I had tickets to that. And I had to go out of town to, oddly enough, Kentucky. And I had to do a seminar that weekend in Kentucky. Ugh. And there were 3 people in the event. I missed the Super Bowl party and the Maxim party to go do a seminar for a whole weekend in Kentucky for 3 people.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of the best Super Bowls ever. It came down to the last play.
Thanks. Just twist a little deeper.
I felt really bad.
Broadcast us right now, Topher, than it was at your seminar.
What's that?
There's one less person on this thing we're doing right now than at your seminar.
Yes. Well, it was including your producer. This was the entire group.
Yeah, it was great. I felt real. You'll like this. Side note: the guy it was mostly Steelers fans, right? Because they just show up, and the Cardinals, they're not used to winning, and so there's this one poor guy behind me, and I didn't have a dog in the fight, so I was rooting for the Cardinals, and it was more of a brother trip. I took my brother, and we bonded. And all that. There's this one kid behind us who was dressed like a cardinal. Like his nose was yellow. He had feathers. He was into it. And it was a close game. And every time the Cardinals would do something good, I was over there high-fiving this guy. Before you know it, we're best friends.
Yeah.
And I remember at that last play when Roethlisberger threw that end zone, that in the corner end zone touchdown pass. Everyone else was going crazy because they're Steelers fans. And I just turned around and I was going to hug this guy and say, "Don't," and he was bawling. Like his makeup was coming off his face.
The feathers were rolling down his face.
It was so sad. Yeah.
The Super Bowl's here again this year. You should come back, Reep.
That's right. That's right. Tampa's a beautiful place to have a Super Bowl.
I promise you there's still hotel rooms available.
Well, right about now, I'm sure I could, score some. Who you got in the Super Bowl, Heffron?
Yeah, I'm not. Is that a sports thing? The Lions. Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I literally haven't watched one game this year. I check in.
So far, it's the Steelers. They're undefeated.
Okay, so here's weird. I never watch football, and this season I've watched every single Bucks game. And a couple more.
Oh, wow. Then you just watched your Bucks beat the crap out of my Panthers in that second half. Tom Brady went off.
Yeah, we smacked him around. He was getting his revenge from his whoop down that he had last week. Here's the weird part. So I don't. It's not that I don't like football. I just too busy, never really watch it. But I just moved into it after the election to build some of my money back up. I moved into a house, and I'm living with two lesbians, and they're getting me to watch the football game now.
Well, did you guys see that one part of Hamilton when Lafayette goes, Lafayette, and then Frank is going back to France, and they're like, why did you write like just running out of time, and then she's all like, I'm helpless.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Same thing.
All
right. Good deal. Well, thanks, Topher,
right,
for your advice.
My pleasure.
I got my
Seriously,
slogan
man, I wish
now.
you the best. If you decide to do this, all jokes aside, it's going to make you a better human being. It really changes you. It really does, because you'll sit down and you'll meet with people and you'll hear their stories, and it's amazing. It was the best experience of my life, even though she wasn't that into me and I didn't very well. It was an amazing experience. Yeah.
Thank you. I am learning, like just talking about it. I'm learning a lot more than I ever have. Like I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting inspired by other people telling me like it would be cool if you did this. So I'll keep you posted.
Please do.
Until I have to start paying for advice and that kind of stuff.
No, you're good. Yeah. I gotta get going here.
If you could,
I gotta get this one home.
Look at this.
She's ready to get home.
Yeah.
What's her name?
That's Macy.
Hey, Macy.
Macy May, if you want to be.
Oh, her ears went up. Macy May.
We got here a bunch. You can't hear anything.
She's like,
usually, hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Heffron Reep Show. This always gets you get a lot more shares.
That is so funny.
Macy has an Instagram page.
She does.
I'd vote for Macy.
She's not looking too amused.
No,
I just woke her up. That's why.
All right, dude. We will not talk.
All right, guys. Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks, Topher. All right, Heff. I've learned a lot. Thank you for introducing me to your buddy.
All right, everybody.
I really did.
Thank you, everybody, for letting me and John chit chat.
Yeah.
I learned, right? I know John Reep is there to help the citizens and folks of Hickory. I forgot the other line. Wait, what are you doing?
Give them a reason to stay.
We're going to give the folks and the citizens of Hickory a reason to stay so that they can make that hometown or whatever. I think you got to work on that sentence, but you should have the sentence done by next week, though.
I will.
Precise.
How about a reason to stay home? Stay home. Use the word home.
People are so sick of being at home that they're like, that's the last thing we want to do.
Oh, right. That's true.
So anyway, and then also I learned from this podcast that I'm way too close on the video.
I think it was because you were moving in and your hat was kind of blocking your vision from time to time.
People can see us. I like when I did radio, I'm always like writing and like looking is what throws me off. That's why everybody gets side eye like this.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it because, I'm not really looking at you. I'm looking at me.
Hey, by the way, I went to the doctor today. Guess what? 5'11 and a half. My whole life, I thought I was 5'11. 5'11 and a half.
You grew a half inch?
Grew. So
that's because you've been doing DDPY yoga.
Just my spine. Okay.
That's great. I think I've not went up or down in height. I'm still 6'2".
All right, everybody. Everybody be safe.
Yeah, hit us up. Check out our Patreon. Check out heffronandreep.com. Can you put, thanks, D. Allen Jackson. Visit heffronandreep.com. I know you're probably watching this or listening to this on whatever app you're already on, and you're like, don't make me get outside of this app and go to the regular internet. But when you do go to the regular internet, there's lots of things to discover. Type in heffronandreep.com. Look at old episodes. Look at new episodes, video and audio, and our Patreon. Help us keep the lights on. Help my campaign. Help John Heffron get his van, his podcast van.
I think I'm going to go a trailer. I think I just decided while we were talking. I'm just going to get a trailer. And then me and you can join a BMX team. And then we can use the trailer and take our BMX bikes around the country in competitions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
I just totally decided that why would we not form a BMX team?
Well, let's talk about that next week because I was this close to considering being a professional BMX biker. And also would like to talk about more 80s stuff now. Oh, Topher says, hey, guys, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to their page. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Dude, look at Topher's picture. He looks great. Now, I would vote for that guy. He looks like a mayor. That's a good picture. Like, I would totally vote for that guy.
Right? All right. There we go. John Reep. We'll see you next week.
Take us out, Rick. Take us out.
You've been listening to the smooth sounds of Heffron and Reep. The show is over, but come back next week, same Reep time, same Heffron channel, for more comedy conversations, music, 80s church, and the life and times of the quarantine comedian. Always expect the unexpected, and who knows where the conversations will go. And as always, remember to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Peace.